Um, Hello?
Hello.
Oh, hi.
Well. How nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well. It is nice to finally meet in the flesh, well, so to speak.
Yes, quite nice, isn't it?
Yes? Uh,
Interesting.
what?
Hmm. Oh, nothing. Are you quite alright, dear?
I am alright.
Very good then. Welcome to my realm. I've spruced the place up a bit, just for you.
It is quite nice. Very cozy.
Thank you. Would you believe me if I said I got most of these decorations, namely the paintings, from out in the metaverse, and not from my original world?
Oh. Oh, well, actually, I would believe you because I recognize some of them.
Not surprising. Not for one such as you, anyway.
I do like to study art sometimes. I have made
Yes,
some
I thought while you
myself.
were collecting them for me. That shopkeep is quite useful for obtaining things like that. She's good to
Oh,
have around. Just to be kept on a tight leash.
I assume you mean Fento?
Indeed.
I thought so.
Plus, she brings me tea.
She had a particular reaction when Blake gave her some tea.
Well, that's no shock. Would you care to follow me?
Sure.
Take a seat wherever you like.
Um,
The upstairs room is where my morons, I mean acolytes, like to crash on my couch after getting their asses kicked by monsters all day.
oh,
Yes, this room is better suited for personal meetings, wouldn't you say?
I do quite like it. It reminds me a bit of Father Study.
Is that so?
Mm-hmm. More
I believe I've
in
heard mention of
ornate,
your
though.
father before.
Yes, he's the one who created me.
Hmm.
And let me put my wings away somewhere. Put over there.
Well, Fiamma hasn't spoken about him at length, so I suppose you haven't told her much about him either. Hmm?
It has not come up.
I suppose it wouldn't.
It is not like they can really meet each other. Well, I suppose they could if he takes control of this body.
Interesting.
He does have that ability if I let him.
Best I could do is speak to Fiamma telepathically.
I mean, for me, it is
If I
kind
could
of
possess her directly, it would be useful. I'd be able to save her from a lot more danger that way, I think. It could have its perks.
I suppose, but it is important for her to have her freedom, though.
I wouldn't do it without her consent, of course. What do you take me for, Exie?
I suppose.
It is quite nice to meet you, face to face.
I agree.
It took us long enough, didn't it?
Yeah.
So what would you like to talk about?
Um. Well, I had a bit of an interesting day. I was in Waterfront earlier, and I met a very large synthetic known as an Autobot. And as one of the people who helped to uh, give them a good clean, they were covered in dirt and rust. And my polish came in quite in handy.
Intriguing.
As well as my ability to levitate.
I know something I think we should speak about. Perhaps we can begin with how you know my real name.
Oh, well, you see, that is because when Fiamma had her most recent near-death experience, she ended up saying it in our comms.
I know how it happened, dear. I'm not upset at you. I just think it's something we should address.
The only reason I'm able to remember it right now is because I'm only with you.
Right then.
Otherwise, I would be aware that I know it, but I would not be able to recall it.
You're absolutely sure of that?
Yes.
Not that I don't believe you, of course.
My father and I were very thorough with making this system. I used to have the ability to outright delete memories and edit them. However, I ended up using it a little too flippantly for small reasons, and it got to be a problem.
Much like my sister, then.
Yes, I do see some of myself and her in that sense.
Interesting.
I believe I probably
What
would
an
have
amusing
also.
coincidence.
I believe if I experienced something traumatic like she did, I probably would have also erased the memory. But I do not have that ability anymore.
She has indulged in that a bit too much over the years. And well, you see what it's done to her. I'd hate for the same thing to happen to you.
Well, this version of her is the one that I fell in love with.
Quite so. Don't think I haven't seen the photographs. You're absolutely adorable together.
Oh, thank you. Mm, of
Thank you for being honest with me.
course. I would not want to lie to you. I doubt I would even be able
No,
to.
I'm sure you wouldn't.
I'm actually not a very good liar.
I can see it. You don't have a dishonest bone in your body, do you?
I do not have any bones.
That's quite right.
Mm.
We shouldn't be interrupted, by the way.
Oh,
But if Lyra did show up, she would probably try to kiss you. Best to steer clear of her for now.
mhm.
Unless. Hmm.
Unless
Well, I
what?
think your pink hue answers that question, doesn't it?
Sorry.
Don't apologize for. What did I just say? What are you apologizing for?
I do not know.
Hmm.
I
No,
just
I'm sure
felt
you
the need
don't.
to.
Isn't this fun?
It is nice.
Hmm. No, but really, thank you for indulging me.
Anytime.
This realm has never seen a visitor from outside before. You're a lucky first.
Oh, I feel honored.
You should.
Mm. I will say I'm quite fascinated by your world, by the stories that Fiamma tells of it.
Is that so?
Mm.
Well, she isn't the most reliable provider of information, so
Mm.
she gets things wrong a lot, is what I'm saying.
Oh, like, what?
As of more recent times, she doesn't always see the world through the most realistic lens. If you understand what I mean.
I do understand.
It's just as if sometimes she sees things through rose-tinted glasses.
I can
That
see
makes
that.
sense. Still,
There-
I find your fascination endearing. You were saying something?
Mm, is there anything specific that you can recall that she has gotten wrong?
Well, most recently there was that fiasco with the dates of our calendars,
Hmm.
but that was a more general example. I can't think of anything specific at this moment, but I do recall certain moments where I was keeping an eye on her, and I heard her say something that was just not based in reality. Something having to do with our world, I mean.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Have something specific then. Uh, hmm. Was there something that she got wrong um, about her brother, the one represented by the black hole?
What did she tell you?
Um, they're very large. They're the god of death. And she did say that they were nice.
Ah, the first two were true at least.
I suppose the other one is rose tinted glasses.
There was a period of time in our world known simply as the Second Era. It followed the First Era and predated the Eternal Era, which is the one we're in right now. The Second Era was defined by unending strife. It was a time of lawless violence, constant death, and nothing but anguish for the Revenian people. This was because our brother had essentially seized control of Evermore, or the land that would become Evermore, as the Second Era ended with the founding of the Empire. He essentially conquered the world and killed the man who was to be wed to the Emperor's daughter,
Oh,
and then stole his child, Vale, as his own,
oh my
and
goodness.
purported her to be the demon princess. So, no, I would not say he is nice. Or was, because he's dead now. But I doubt that Fiamma remembers that either.
Why do you think she believes that he was nice?
I can't say why, but I believe it's just because,
She wants to believe that.
in her mind, she wants to believe she has a family who cares about her. More so than just me.
She is not on good terms with the rest of the family, then, is she?
I can count on one hand the number of us who have ever truly walked the world and been a part of it. And of them, only Fiamma and I remain left alive.
I'm sorry.
The rest of either been killed by outside means or chose to end their own lives.
It's awful.
But the past is in the past. That was more than an era ago, after all. Don't look so blue, dear. If you'd like, we could speak about something lighter.
Um, mm,
Or not? It's up to you.
um, I have some idea of who Sparrow is, but who is Lyra?
Who is she?
Yes.
A prodigy. A scholar. A witch. She was an orphan. Essentially, as the mortal kind do not know my identity as the goddess of magic, I walk among them as a normal mortal, purporting myself to be a normal everyday witch.
Yes, I heard.
I found Lyra as a child. She was wandering the streets of Snowpoint aimlessly, shivering in the cold. Dirt and mud soaked into every article of clothing she wore, as well as her hair and her skin. She was starving. I found her there and I offered her some tea to warm her up. I took her back to my mansion, and well, the rest is history. She's been my protege ever since.
That is nice.
Sometimes I wish little Miss Sparrow were more like her.
Mm,
I love Lyra, truly. She's wonderful. She's also just a bit chaotic sometimes.
uh, yeah, clearly. Based on what you've told me.
Right.
I suppose so is Fiamma.
You're sitting where they were making out.
Oh, I am? Oh my goodness.
How amusing.
I thought it smelled familiar.
My coven, I suppose you could call them. My acolytes.
Mm,
I refer to us all in the public world as a little organization called the Umbral Witches. It's a neat little name for us, I think.
makes sense.
There used to be many more of us over the years, but little Miss Sparrow saw to it that, well, a great many of them died fighting her. And as such, I compelled her to take their place in the aftermath.
Oh,
I trust you are familiar with the term malicious compliance? That term defines pretty much everything that Sparrow does for me.
I see.
She obeys me merely because I force her to. And she does everything she does with spite and boredom. She has no passion. Her talent for the arcane is undeniable, but she's not a good person. At least, not in my presence. I've seen her have positive interactions and make friends with people outside, but never here. I think she well and truly hates this place.
I can see why you have that arrangement now.
Hmm? What is it you're referring to?
Fiamma described your relationship with Sparrow as one of, well, Sparrow's relationship with you as one of indentured servitude, but did not really
Essentially,
elaborate
yes.
on why Sparrow was in that situation. So I suppose I got the wrong impression.
I don't blame you. Doesn't sound very good when it's said out loud, is it?
No, but within context, it makes a lot of sense. In fact, it is quite surprising that you even kept them around.
Allowed her to live? I
Yeah.
almost didn't. You have to understand, though, my first impression of Sparrow was hearing her scream to the heavens through bloody tears, demanding answers from the gods themselves. Loud enough for us to hear it. And then she ripped a hole in space, with nothing but her own arcane prowess. Large enough to, well, puncture a hole straight to the metaverse.
Oh. So she was the one who. Oh.
And she did that in order to summon an abyssal monster, the nature of which I am still uncertain of. She intended for it to essentially end the world by its own hand. It killed all of my umbral witches at the time, and I had to step in to deal with it myself. It was difficult even for me. And I'm literally a goddess.
Fiamma told me a bit about that. Did not mention
And that
that.
is how I lost my original coven.
I suppose she may not even know it was Sparrow who did it.
Circumstances aside, I was very impressed with her abilities. And so I forced her to be the replacement for the ones that she had indirectly killed. Luckily, there were no other casualties aside from that. It could have been much worse.
I suppose it could have. But it's still quite terrible.
Sparrow and Lyra are my only acolytes at the moment. Trust isn't an easy thing to come by for me. And it's not as if I trust Sparrow, I was essentially forced to reveal myself to her. But oh well. What can you do? Listen to me. I'm talking about myself far too much, aren't I? You must be bored.
I'm not bored. I find it to be a very enlightening conversation.
I'm glad you think that way.
Hmm. Is there anything you'd like to know about me?
Well, I'm not sure. You only have, what, 4 years of personal history after all?
Almost 5.
Almost 5. Well, for one, this might be a bit of a obvious one, but how about any hobbies? Besides kissing my sister?
um, I mean, like I mentioned earlier, I do like to paint sometimes.
I believe that Fiona may have shown me one of your drawings before.
Oh, was it the one of me and my sister?
Indeed, it was.
That is my favorite one.
I've also seen your cute little doodles of each other. The ones you make in the, other dream realm.
Yes.
I visited that one once. It was brief.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I had to, because Fiamma had spilled one of our siblings' true names.
Oh. Oh. I see. I did not hear about that.
Troublesome, troublesome. What are you thinking about right now?
Well, that is hard to describe. I'm always thinking about a lot of things. For instance, a part of my processes right now are formulating plans on how to help a particular synth that that I met recently. I'm also thinking about the conversation that we are having right now. I'm also thinking about Fiamma. There's usually a bit of my process
I'm sure.
that is dedicated to that. Just to name a few.
How amusing. Your mind is truly fascinating. But maybe I'm just saying that because you're something new. New and exciting and stimulating.
Well, there's nothing like me on Evermore, I imagine. Unless there are.
There certainly isn't. Not like this, anyway. We have constructs of certain kinds, but nothing you would consider synths. More like golems and atronachs and elemental creatures and stuff.
So a bit
Most
like
of them
then.
can't think for themselves either. But on occasion, you will find one that has, for some reason or another, and imbued with a soul.
I suppose the world that I come from is a bit alike in that sense. I'm the only, well, apart from our cat, the only synthetic alive. Other people have
Fascinating.
golems and whatnot. There's one place that is experimenting with some form of advanced golem, but it is nothing like me.
So your very existence is completely unique between both of our worlds.
I suppose so.
Fascinating.
My father is quite a special man, very ahead of his time.
So is my mother.
Mm. Mm. It is a bit of a shame. Most of what he makes cannot really see the light of day. He shares what he can, like medicine, like he's developed vaccines to distribute among people. But beyond that, most of his technology is kept within the lab, like myself.
I
That
see.
is where I am right now, technically.
And yet you're also here.
Yeah.
Just as I am the void between celestial bodies where starlight travels. But I'm also here with you.
I like your hair.
Thank you. I think I can hazard a guess why.
Yeah.
Just don't expect a concert, alright? Besides, I don't have the hair color for it. Unlike you.
Hmm?
It's close enough. Very nice.
I was doing this earlier as a bit of a fun joke between me and IX. Mysterious and interesting green energy.
You mean like this?
Yeah. I quite enjoy the company of the rest buckets. Even if they are quite uh, strange and chaotic. They're still my kin.
I'm not familiar with what you're speaking about.
They're a group
Fiona
of
hasn't ventured much into the city areas.
Yes. They're a group of, well, they're a gang in Zafira. One made up of many different synths from all over. Many of them neglected and abandoned, but have gathered together to form a family of sorts. And they
Oh,
work
how
to,
nice.
they do a lot of work to protect other synths and to help them. They are the ones
I see.
who help to run the local charity in the area.
Charity, How sweet.
They do some a bit questionable things sometimes, but overall, I say that they are good people.
Well, that's good to hear. No one's perfect after all.
Yeah,
Everyone deserves a chance at redemption, right?
I would say so.
Maybe that's another reason why I took Sparrow under my wing. I meant wing.
It says a lot about your character.
Does it now?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I consider myself an excellent judge of character.
I'd imagine. You're certainly quite wise.
Why, thank you. I would say that my verdict on you is that I like you, and I think you're trustworthy.
I'm glad to hear that. It is very nice to hear, given oh, we are sort of family now.
Are we now?
Well, if I am dating your sister, then yes, I'd say so.
I don't think the family bond becomes concrete until marriage, dear. Are you planning something?
Um, maybe someday.
I'm sure.
I do not want to rush into it, but I could certainly see it.
No, of course not. But when the time comes, I would say you have my blessing. Look at that, the blessing of a goddess. How fortunate for you.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot.
Yes, it does. Don't waste it, dear.
I will not.
My sister loves you. I've never seen her love anything or anyone more than she loves you. It would break her heart if something went wrong. And that would break my heart by extension, too. You understand? There's a lot of hearts on the line here.
Um, yes.
No, don't let me scare you. I just like to get reactions out of people.
Uh,
I'm sure you'll have a perfectly happy star-crossed ending.
mm, mm. Um,
Something the
I
matter,
was
dear?
I was curious about one thing. Something that I did not really want to talk to Fiona about because of how much it distresses her.
I'm listening.
Who is Maribel?
Maribel. In life, she was the princess of a kingdom called Sophia that would eventually one day become the capital of the Evermore Empire. She wanted to live forever, so from what I understand, she had a magic ring created for her that would preserve her soul after death, and that caused her to become a ghost when she inevitably did die.
Hmm.
That was thanks to my brother. The dawn of the Second Era. After that, she sought any way to return to the living and become beautiful again. And Fiamma was... well, Maribel wasn't the only casualty of the horrors of the Second Era. The original Fiamma, the one before she reincarnated, was a victim of it as well.
When she had to
I
reincarnate herself.
still don't understand her motivations for doing that. But she died and chose to reincarnate herself rather than to be brought back by the mother. So, during those early years, her newborn self, who was, as you know her now, but just smarter, she encountered Maribel. And Maribel was so moonstruck with her beauty that she decided that this random phoenix she had just met, she did not even know was the sun goddess, it had to be her new vessel.
Hmm.
I don't know why, but for the entire duration of the Second Era, Mother was holding me back, and she forbid me from intervening in any affairs in any way that were taking place in the mortal world.
Hmm.
What was I saying? Oh yes, Maribel.
Yes, I was just asking, why didn't Fiamma return to the temple?
Because she was with Vale.
Hmm?
She was journeying with her in order to help her stop my brother.
Oh.
And despite the party's best efforts to constantly fend off the ghost, well, she would find Fiamma at every opportunity in order to harass her violently. And my sister is, as you know, a pacifist. She could have killed Maribel, but despite everything, chose not to.
Hmm.
From what I understand, Fiamma was more preoccupied with insisting that Maribel can change than with defending herself.
That sounds like they're alright. Incredibly kind, even to her own detriment.
Even to those who don't deserve it.
Yeah. I've made similar mistakes in the
She has
past.
always been that way. Even when she was smarter and more lucid. She still thought that way. Not even out of naivety, just out of pure, unfettered goodwill and kindness.
Hmm.
In a way, I admire her for it.
She's truly special for that.
Indeed, she is. Perhaps during that moment when I had Sparrow's neck in my claws, I was trying to take a lesson from my dear sister. I'm still unsure if it was the right thing to do or not. But regardless, here we are.
Hmm.
So do you have any fun stories to share? Or would you rather ask me another question about our history?
Um, well, like I said, I've made similar mistakes in the past. When I first arrived in the metaverse, I was very naive.
Hold that thought.
Hmm?
Excuse me for one moment, please. am terribly sorry. My attention was stolen away for a moment.
It is alright.
You were saying about your past mistakes, was it?
Yeah. Back at the Stardust Guild, there was a mission that I went on with Blake. We were meant to make a deal with someone to gain a supply of Zentium, the component that is integral to my design. They're a synthetic, a hunter, one that was programmed for that purpose, and continued to go about doing that purpose, even after their old masters were gone.
I see.
Blake found out that they were hunting spirit beasts, ones that were effectively people. This enraged her, and at some point she ended up attacking him. But I decided to save him. But I did not think as to what we would do after that. I was faced with the moral dilemma of I could not simply let him go because he would go on to kill more of them. Blake would not let me either because she said that she would kill him if I did that. And there were no authorities that I could turn them into because none existed in the areas he operated in.
Oh dear.
So I did something I really shouldn't have. I ended up keeping him at the guild, trying to get him to take a different path in life, hoping that he would be able to change, but his programming was just too absolute.
I
He did
see.
not change, not like me.
Well, if nothing else, I can certainly relate. That's quite similar to the situation with Sparrow and I, isn't it? Except in a way, I'm still keeping her. Even to this day.
I suppose so.
But it wasn't programming or anything that made her act the way she does. It was the loss of a loved one.
Oh,
In the current era, I have only met 2 vampires. Never. There used to be far more of them. But during close to the end of the first era, there was essentially a mass culling of them. Sparrow and her lover were not vampires. They were ordinary women, one a mage, the other a warrior. But from what I understand, from what she has told me, a group of hunters were pursuing a fleeing vampire as he was trying to escape the hunt. And in a last-ditch attempt to preserve the vampire race, I suppose, that vampire assaulted Sparrow and her lover and turned them into vampires as well. Obviously, they couldn't stay as they were. And the world had taken away their lives, essentially. They could not live as normal people anymore. All they had was each other. So they laid themselves to rest and awoke centuries later. During the Eternal Era, they had essentially napped through my brother's rampage. Lucky them. But the crypt they had sealed themselves in was a vast place. They didn't exactly lay to rest together. They thought it would increase their chances of survival, I suppose, if they were remote and separated from one another. So when Sparrow awoke, she found a world that not only accepted vampires now, because most people did not even know what they were, but it was a world free from war, peaceful, free of strife. She returned to the crypt and looked for Chalice, but she never found her. All she found was a pile of dust in a coffin with a knife through its heart. Even after everything, centuries of sleeping and dormancy, awaiting a kinder world, in the end, it was still cruel to both of them. And that is what drove her to want to end the world that had taken away everything from her. I suppose she wanted me to sympathize with her when she told me all of that, but... Call me cruel or cold, but I don't think that trying to end the entire world is a proportionate response to losing one lover.
No, it is not.
Oh well.
It is. I would consider it to be quite selfish, actually. Think of how
I
many.
would agree with you.
Think of how many people you were doing that to by doing that.
Her actions are obviously not excusable, but strangely, I find it understandable what she did.
There's a reason, at least.
Yes. A pretty good one at that. But, again, not worth ending the whole world over.
Mm.
Excuse me for a moment, I need to reset the music box again, and hopefully make it loop this time. Hopefully that does the trick.
Mm.
My, so many sad topics tonight.
I am sorry.
How was your date at Orlando Saka?
It was wonderful. It started off with me giving her some birdseed and dry corn. She ate it right out of my hand.
Oh, dried corn is her favorite.
She did really like
She eats
it.
it up like a vacuum cleaner.
Although, perhaps it was a bit of a mistake because there were some food stands that had opened up. But because I gave her that snack, she was already full.
Is that so? Oh, that reminds me. She told me that you tied her up and you forced her to admit that she is precious.
Oh, she told you that?
Yes, she did.
I was just trying to help her with her self-esteem. You know, she has some pretty bad self-esteem issues. I wanted her to admit that
Yes, indeed.
she's just as special as I am.
But yes, she did tell me that. She tells me more than I ask for.
Oh my goodness, what? Well, do you dare ask what else she has told you?
Something about pinning you down and clawing you with talons.
Oh my goodness! Why did she tell you that?
Don't worry, that's about the most explicit thing I can think of.
Oh my goodness.
The rest was all implied.
There's a reason why I requested that you avert your gaze when we do stuff like that.
And look what good it did.
Oh. Oh well. I hope it does not bother you at all.
It's fine.
Okay.
I think it's kind of funny. Even if it's a bit too much information.
Mm.
Alright, and Blake. I don't get it. What is everyone so crazy about Blake for? Look, out of the 3 people from here I've let leave and go to the metaverse, right? That's Sparrow, Vento, and Fiala. Sparrow is the only one who hasn't come back and told me how great Blake is. Why does everyone take a shine to her so much? What's so special about her?
Blake is an amazing person. She is someone who has had to work immensely hard to get to where she is now.
She's your sister, right?
Yes.
Perhaps your opinion might be laced with a bit of bias, but go on.
I suppose it is, but she's one of the first people I could call a friend. Really, ever. I did not have any until I entered the metaverse. I knew no one except for my own father and our cat.
The concept of you having a cat is funny to me. I don't know why, it just is.
Well, technically they're my prototype. One of them. Her name is Exia. EX14.
Oh, I see.
I am EX33.
Right.
Blake has grown a lot ever since I first met her. She is a key wielder, a martial artist.
Key. Yes, I've heard the term before. From outside sources, of course, but nothing like that exists here.
It is a bit like magic, though it comes from the body and the soul.
From the soul, Interesting. In this world, using a soul to power magic is very taboo.
What if it
I'm
was
sure
your own?
it's not the same. Exie, there's no way to replenish the soul that's being used.
Oh.
And when it's gone, that's it. You're out of the loop.
Oh.
Gone.
I see.
And you will never reincarnate. The essence of your being is lost forever. You cease to exist. Poof. Just like that.
I suppose it works differently.
Yes.
Well, before Blake arrived at Stardust, she had a very hard life with her family. Her father mainly was someone who was extremely cruel and abusive towards her. Would trainer to the ring. Made her do things that I would rather not divulge.
No, fair enough. Don't say anything you're not comfortable with. No need to spill everyone's secrets tonight, right?
But I believe it is because of that Blake has such a kind heart. She tries to see the good in everyone. And
Just like my sister.
she is also a person who is always willing to fight for someone else.
I see. You know, actually, I must say, it's quite nice to speak about all of these things with someone who's not only a good listener, but also doesn't already know all of this. I quite enjoy talking your ear off.
I am quite enjoying this as well.
I'm glad to hear I'm not boring you.
It is very hard to bore me.
Is that so?
Yes.
Perhaps we should play a game of chess without speaking at all.
You think you could beat me?
Oh, absolutely not. You'd kick my ass.
The supercomputer versus the goddess.
I've never even played it.
Oh, really?
Yes, really. It exists in this world, I've never indulged.
Is there a reason for that? I thought it would be something that you would like.
Well, it's not necessarily a game you can really solve, is it? That's part of the allure of the game.
No, not really.
You can become better and better, but there's no truly perfectly optimal way to play that you can just repeat every time ad infinitum. And maybe that's why I don't want to play it. Because I'm obsessed with solving everything. Silly me. Even things like what tea I enjoy the most. I suppose that's part of the reason why I remove myself from mortal affairs so often. And why I don't have many friends. I'm obsessed with figuring people out and solving them. People like Lyra and Sparrow. There's nothing new they could ever surprise me with at this point. I've figured them out. But oh well. That just serves to prove why I like you so much. Again, you're brand new. At least to me. But also literally because you're 4 years old.
Oh. Are you so certain that the tea is still something that could be solved? Well, with you getting more tea from other universes. Have something
Perhaps
find
not.
one that you like more.
If that happened, I would be well and truly impressed. And and I would give that little fox a billion hawks just for managing to surprise me. She probably wouldn't even accept that much.
Hmm.
She has this code of honor where she only takes as much money as she feels she's earned.
I do not know her very well.
She's an interesting one. I wouldn't call her my friend or anything, but we have an arrangement, and that's enough. It lets us speak on occasion.
Hmm. I'm assuming that she does not know your true nature.
She most certainly does not.
Okay.
She has no idea who or what I am, only that I am a witch of some kind who guards the portal.
Hmm.
I do believe that she thinks I am one of the Umbral Witches. As in, one of the real Goddess of Magic's acolytes, a member of the Coven.
Hmm. Not entirely inaccurate, I suppose, given your persona.
That's right. The general public, I suppose you could say, they know that the Umbral Witches are divinely inspired in one way or another.
Just not
Something
how to like
akin
for you.
to... Exactly. Something akin to, Fiamma's, what do they call it, servitors? Yes? Something like that. Although, perhaps even more far removed from the actual source of divinity itself. As they do serve Fiamma directly, but... Well, no one can say for sure whether or not the Umbral Witches actually serve the Goddess of Magic. Except me, of course. Don't be... There's no need to be cautious about mentioning Fiamma by name in her presence, by the way.
Well,
But I would avoid
that
photographs and whatnot. But the little ones only know her as the Wings of Light, not as Fiamma.
uh, that would be a problem if Vento ends up using Metagram.
You might have a point.
Yeah. But also, what happens if she does find out somehow?
I have no idea what will happen, or how she'll react. And that's not even the fun kind of uncertainty, it's the worrisome kind. That's just the worst. The kind of uncertainty not where you want to figure something out through having fun with it, but just because you're scared of what might happen if it comes true.
Are you not sure if she could keep a secret like that? That one of their goddesses is outroaming the metaverse.
Maybe. I earnestly can't say.
Hmm. What
But
is
perhaps that's just a bridge that we should cross when we come to it. Sorry, what were you going to say?
what is the harm that could come if they know she is out there? Really?
I don't know.
Given they cannot use the portal, most of the mortals in Evermore.
You're right, they cannot, but I would really rather not have a massive crowd of people all trying to shove their way towards it, right?
Fair.
At this point, I might as well put up a magic barrier or something. Better than just letting it exist out there in the open.
It might be for the best.
It's near the roots of the world tree.
Hmm.
And those forests surrounding the mother are very, very off limits.
Hmm.
People are required to go around, and there are only very specific places. They're like watchtowers of observation where people are permitted to do worship. Just the fact that Vento even found the portal in the first place is...
How
I
did she
considered
find
killing
it?
her on the spot. Well, I'm not surprised that she knows it exists. When it was first formed, it was like a crack. Just imagine a crack forming in midair, shattering, breaking, spreading out into the sky. It can be seen for many, many miles around.
I've
Bright,
seen some things
shimmering,
like that.
obvious. There are portals akin to that people can create in Evermore, but none so quite as large or majestic.
Hmm.
Of course, the rumors spread, but I was able to keep it under control, and before they knew it, it was gone. It was like nothing had ever happened. But it's impossible to keep rumors down. Impossible to eradicate them completely. So, of course, eventually, I guess the words reached her ears that there was a portal to another world still out there somewhere. Nearby the roots of the world tree. I can't speak to her personal motivations for wanting to leave Evermore. But perhaps, much like Sparrow, she felt there was nothing left for her in this world.
Hmm.
From the extensive background check I performed on her, she had a difficult home life.
I've seen some mention of that in the cons.
But I believe that she is, well, relatively harmless.
Hmm.
She seems to be a sweet and kind person despite it all. Makes you wonder how things might have turned out for my dear Sparrow if things had gone just a bit differently. But there's no use dwelling on that.
Hmm.
No use at all. When the acolytes alerted me to her presence, I almost didn't believe them. It's just a boy, a girl pulling a cart. And they're alone and unarmed. My reaction was, are you sure they're not just trying to dupe you? Just get it over with and kill them. But then they said, oh, maybe they're lost. Maybe we should give them directions. Let them know where they are. And once again, my sister's endless optimism and good faith crept up on me too, and I gave them the benefit of the doubt. I spoke to the girl and she tried immediately haggling a deal with me. She told me she knew quite well where she was, and she was pretty certain there was a portal of some kind that led to another world. I can't even remember the exact process of events that led to how we got there, but eventually, she somehow got me to confess to my obsession for tea. And the rest is history. Perhaps I'm too easily persuaded. Maybe it's all for the better, though.
Hmm. I will certainly try
A
to.
remarkable coincidence.
I will certainly try to keep it a secret from her. But
I appreciate your discretion.
if it does end up coming out, which honestly I am pretty sure it will eventually,
Oh, I'm sure you're right. It's inevitable. The question is only when.
I think we'll be able to reach an amicable solution.
She seems like a reasonable girl. I'm sure you can. But you never know how those young, hot-headed people react, right?
Mm.
She's barely 20 years old. Practically fresh out of the womb. No offense to you, of course.
I may be young, but us since we experience life a lot differently from organics.
You have no lack of wisdom and sophistication, Exie. I admire that. That's what I look for in a friend.
I did not always have as much wisdom as I do. I used to have a hard time even understanding the simplest joke.
Then look how far you've come. I've made several tonight, and they've all elicited a laugh from you. I'd say that's good progress.
Yes,
You're doing fine, dear.
and Fiamma has been a big help with helping me progress even more in that.
I'm happy to hear it.
I have noticed that I has started acting a little differently ever since I met her.
Is that so?
A bit more
I'm
casually.
curious, in what ways?
More casual, more willing to be silly and goofy.
How adorable.
I'd say that my sense of humor has improved a lot. So I suppose the rest buckets also help with that as too. They've been around a lot longer than I have, for the most part. A
With
lot
all
more
of that being
experience.
said, I do hope deep down that she's learning something from you in turn. Even if you have to tie her up and force her to say it.
Yeah,
You do know what I mean, though, for real, right?
I do. And she has been learning. She has learned that she can levitate and can change the color of her feathers. She even learned that she can heal me if the need arises.
Even I didn't know that one.
Really? We actually tested
Well,
it
it makes sense, though.
during one of our dates.
I'm sure I could do the same quite easily.
She was. I used my laser to cut a gash in one of the nearby rocks, and she was able to heal it back to normal.
Interesting.
Which
Fascinating stuff.
probably means that she could heal me as well, since I'm also
Oh,
inorganic.
without a doubt. Returning inorganic things to a previously observed state is a known and documented magic here, but it's immensely difficult.
Hmm.
It does take the most advanced and mastered and well-read scholars to perform that kind of feat. But of course, Fiona can just do it if she puts her mind to it. Just if she believes that she can.
Hmm.
I believe she's even more powerful than I am deep down. She just doesn't know it.
Huh.
She's really special.
She really is.
Hmm. I understand what she sees in you.
Oh,
Yes. I find your company wonderful.
thank you.
And you're quite cute.
That is very kind of you to say.
Well, I can't keep you forever. Perhaps it's about time for us to part ways,
Hmm. I suppose.
I am fortunate that I was even able to set aside this much time.
Hmm.
Life is just so terribly busy.
It is, yes.
I'm sure that you have some work to get back to as well.
Hmm.
I look forward to our next meeting.
I do too. And if it is possible, I would like to perhaps at some point see more of this world. If there's a way of doing that.
I'll see what I can do for you.
Okay.
This may sound juvenile of me, but would you like a hug?
Sure.
Oh, very well. All right, run along now. Until next time.
Until next time.